All right, it's 2 weeks post California since I had my little crash. Today is our last day of proper training before 70.3 Goa, so we're going to take you along for that. I'm going to reveal the bike that I'm going to be riding at Goa, but first things first, we've got to get some training done. So we're at the gym. We're going to go for a little run indoors on the treadmills. Thinking behind that is obviously it's really hot in India, hotter than it is in North Yorkshire, so we're trying to get in as much sort of heat adaptation as we can before we fly out. So Ellie's going to be running some fast 800s. I actually did that session earlier in the week. I've already done it. I'm way ahead of you. And, so
see where you are on race day.
Yeah, you might be ahead of me. I'm going to do some longer, slightly less fast, but still pretty fast reps. So we'll take you along for that and see you on the other side.
We managed to survive the run.
Yeah, well, yours looked really good. Mine went well. How was yours?
Yeah, mine went really well actually.
So what, survived?
Yeah, it was hot in there though. It's where they're actively heating it up now, which is useful for India.
Yeah, it is hot in that gym, which is why we went in there. Yeah, no, session went really well. So it was 1 times 3k, 2 times 2k, 3 times 1k, short rest in between all of them, trying to just hold like a really nice aerobic heart rate, so not go over that aerobic threshold. Pace was coming back really nicely as well. I think all the reps were between 345 and 350 per kilometre. Not sure how much attention to pay to that. Like I said, use the heart rate to control the intensity. You know, treadmill can be a bit all over the place on pace, but we're going to take it as a nice little confidence boost. Yeah, went really well, really happy with it. Need to pop down to the local bike shop now to pick up the last bit that I need to finish off the bike, and then I can reveal it to you late this afternoon. So we're going road bike. Well, technically it's a gravel frame, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Now to start with, there was a few people that actually reached out and offered to lend me a TT bike for the week that we're going out. First of all, thank you so much. I wasn't really expecting it, but thank you to everyone who did. I really, really appreciate it. I can't say how much I appreciate all the support we've got since California has been incredible. So thank you so much. We've decided for a couple of reasons, which I'll go into now, not to ride a TT bike at all. First of all, my TT bike is actually okay after the crash. Obviously the handlebars was snapped and that's what caused me to crash, but we've actually got the replacement in. So Matt Botcher was really good at getting that sorted out really quickly. Unfortunately, it only arrived like literally yesterday. So, and we fly out day after tomorrow?
Yeah, a
Something
few
like
days.
A couple of days. So the turnaround time on getting it into a shop to get the brake cables sort of like rerouted and all the hydraulics sorted out and all of that sort of stuff would have been really, really tight. And then obviously we'd have had to have then got it into a box as well. So all of that would have been really, really tight. We decided it was probably a little bit too much stress leading into this race. The other reason is injuries I sustained in the crash. So although I had no serious injuries, and I feel really fortunate that it wasn't any worse than it was, I do have some quite deep road rash, and I have sprained my elbow and wrist. We are having to work within some limitations of what I can do in terms of recovery in the short turnaround that we've got between these two races. Fundamentally, what I've done is what I tell all my athletes to do in a similar situation, and we've actually had a couple of athletes have to do this year with their Canyon Speed Maxes going in on the recall that was on the steerer tube. In this situation, what I generally tell people to do is use what you've got, reduce the stress, just use what you've got, and maximize it as best you can for the demands of the course. So that's what we've done with this, and I think I've made it about as fast as I can possibly make this bike go. So let's take a deeper look. It is fundamentally a gravel frame. It's a Cervelo Aspero A series, so yeah. It's primarily designed for off-road, but it is designed to be a fast, aggressive gravel frame for racing, gravel races quickly. And I generally use it in training as more of an all-road bike. So I use it on the road, I use it off-road when we go cycle around the dales on the trails and stuff like that. And it works really well on all of that. I've even ridden it in some road bike TTs earlier this year and set what I think are some pretty fast times. So we've taken it a little bit further with this one, like I said, and I think I've pushed all of the component choices and aerodynamic things to the absolute limit that this thing will do with what we had available in the 3 weeks that we had to kind of get this turned around. So I'm going to run you through that really quickly now. So the most obvious change that we've made is the wheels. So at the back we've got a head disc. Same one that I use on my TT bike, and at the front we've gone with the Princeton Carbon Works. It's a Wake 65/60, so it alternates between 60 mil of depth at the shallower bit and 65 at the deeper bit. It's meant to be slightly better in crosswinds, so if there are any crosswinds it'll be quicker than that. It's a really light, really fast wheel, so should be really good. Both have got Schwalbe Pro 1 TTs on it, so we've tried to really reduce the rolling resistance, and because it's a gravel frame I've got a lot of tyre clearance, so we've gone nice and wide with the tyres, super fast, so we can run them at lower pressures, be super comfortable on there, lower rolling resistance, and yeah, we might lose a few watts on aerodynamics, but we're going to get a couple back on the rolling resistance on the tyres, so that's one bonus where we've made something there. The second one is in the drivetrain, so this is actually where I was most limited on this frame. It's only got clearance for a 50 tooth chainring at the front, so I've pushed that out right to the maximum for obvious reasons, hopefully. I haven't gone beyond the stated things that you can do on that. We debated whether you might be able to get clearance for a 52 on there. It is actually really tight, so we've decided to stick within what they say to do, just to be super safe about it. But we pushed it right to the limit of what the frame should be able to do. And then lastly, I think we've just added some of the small aerodynamics components that we do on the TT bikes to the road bike. So I swapped out the bottle down here. So when I'm training, I normally have an Elite aero bottle here and a regular bottle cage here. I've taken out the regular bottle cage and I've swapped out the Elite one for this Fidlock Canyon one that sort of just twists out and then magnetically goes on. There's a couple of reasons for that. One, it sort of fits really nicely with the tube profile on the thing, so I think it's a better fit, and I'm hoping that aerodynamically it should be a little bit better. It's also 200 mil larger. India is a hot race, so it allows me to carry an extra 200 milliliters of fluid, which is really, really good. At the back, I've put all of the rest of the carrying capacity behind the saddle, so that should be, on a road bike, the most aerodynamic place to put it, really. I'm going to be putting 2 1-litre bottles behind the saddle. Yeah, and on one of these, I've put a X-Lab aero pouch around so that we can do some tool storage, and that's not hanging around on the frame anywhere. So I think that's about the most aerodynamic method that I could find for carrying enough fluid for a hot race on the road frame. So that's my bike that I'm going to be racing in Goa. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'm going to go quickly walk the dog now and then jump on the turbo for a session this evening, and I'll see you on the other side of that. So 2 hour sort of mixed interval ride done. Course in India has got a bit of a mix of stuff, so some flat bits, some like sharp hills as well. So did a few efforts that are sort of a bit more controlled with shorter rest, and then a few that were a little bit harder with a little bit more rest. Nothing too crazy, just enough to kind of get the body sort of ready for what you've got to do next weekend. So it's good, nice little spike of the fitness before we can head into another taper before the last week. So yeah, all good. How did yours go?
Yeah, it went well. It went well. My leg was really tight on one side, so I had to cut one of the intervals short so I don't get a hamstring strain. But
we probably didn't do that the ideal way round, but we had to get to the gym before it shut.
Yeah,
so
it's life, isn't it?
It's hard to do that after the run, but sometimes you just got to get it done a certain way, don't you? I think in the ideal world we probably have biked first and then got to the gym, but shorter hours on the weekends, isn't it? So we just got to work around it. But I think you did a really good job.